Hello friends, now we are going to consider an important part related with topic electrostatics. One more important law like Coulomb's law, Gauss law or Gauss theorem in electrostatics. Very important. Just to overcome the limitation of Coulomb's law, we are going to discuss Gauss theorem. We know that Coulomb's law it is applicable only for point charges. Means in order to obtain formula for intensity near to point charge, Coulomb's law is okay. But near to, yes, linear charge, surface charge, volume charge, Coulomb's law is not applicable, and hence we have to discuss about this additional concept. So first of all, we will consider statement for Gauss theorem. Very simple statement. Statement part. Gauss theorem states that yes, electric flux or total electric flux or any closed surface. Total electric flux or any closed surface. What is electric flux? Already we discussed in previous video. Yes, total number of electric lines of force passing normally through given area. जो काही गिवन एरिया असेल त्यातनं जेवढ्या काही लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्स किंवा ट्यूब्स ऑफ फोर्स पास होतील नॉर्मली that number is called as electric flux. No doubt electric flux is given by formula yes E bar dot ds bar for small area. So it is yes in magnitude form we can write d phi is equal to EDS cos theta. If very large area is there, total flux we can calculate integrating d phi, and this is equal to yes integration EDS cos theta. So by the method of integration we can find total flux over there. So electric flux it is always expressed in SI unit voltmeter. It is a scalar quantity because dot product of two vectors. Now this Gauss theorem states that for any closed surface, you just imagine this is a closed surface of any shape. Shape is not important. And it is inside electric field. Suppose there is a uniform electric field and in which this is a closed surface considered, imaginary closed surface. Now over this closed surface, according to Gauss theorem or Gauss law, total electric flux is always equal to, how much is this value? Total electric flux is always equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 time, yes, algebraic sum of all the charges enclosed by that surface. This is very important. Total electric flux or any closed surface is always equal to, yes, algebraic sum of all the charges enclosed by that surface divided by epsilon 0 or 1 upon epsilon 0 times algebraic sum of all the charges enclosed by it. And this concept will be required yes to get formulae for intensity near to yes linear charge, surface charge, volume charge. How we are going to discuss later, but first of all we are going to verify this statement how phi is equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 sigma q. Now in order to verify Gauss theorem, suppose this is a closed surface under consideration which contain large number of charges at any point. Suppose this is first charge q1, second charge q2, first may be negative, then third positive. Such n number of charges are there. Then sigma q, how to get sigma q? Sigma q is the algebraic sum of all charges minus q1. Algebraic sum means we have to consider with sign. So minus q1 plus q2 dash up to qn. This is the algebraic sum. And this algebraic sum of all charges divided by permittivity of medium. If air medium is there, epsilon 0, that gives rise to total electric flux. Now in order to verify Gauss theorem, yes, we are going to consider here, only one point charge. Only one point charge inside this surface. There are n number of charges, but if we consider only one charge, you just imagine OB a point under consideration where a point charge Q is there. Now from this point charge, make a little construction, draw a conical projection up to this surface, and on this surface, suppose P be a point under consideration. So this is a small area of this conical portion, around it, say it is ds. It is a point size actually, just simplicity point of view I am showing enlarged view. In reality this area is of point size. Now due to this point charge at that point 100% there will be certain intensity, and no doubt this intensity is acting yes in outward direction. Why outward direction? Because charge is positive, hence intensity is in outward direction. Now suppose this area it is tilted. At that point this area is tilted like this. This is normal to area of cross section. So on this normal we can represent this area vector ds bar. If angle between these two it is theta, angle between them it is theta. See here. Now if distance of this point from the center of charge, if it is small r, if we take symbol as a small r, means length OP, if it is equal to small r, means distance of that point from the center of charge if it is r. Now we are going to verify Gauss theorem. Total flux. Forget about total flux. You just think about this area only, small area. Can you calculate electric flux over this small area? Yes, tell me. This total flux we will calculate later. First of all, for the small area, we know the electric flux d phi is given by yes EDS cos theta. EDS cos theta, equation number first. But we know that intensity at that point, it is given by Coulomb's law. Intensity आपण already formula derive केला 1/4 pi epsilon 0 k yes q divided by r square. This is the equation. If we replace intensity over here, this flux d phi comes out equal to yes, what will be q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 k yes. We replace here value of E, q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 k. Now ds cos theta divided by r square we will write in separate bracket. We just made a rearrangement. Now here ds cos theta, see here ds area meter square, cos theta no unit, r square meter square. So it is a dimensionless quantity, ds cos theta upon r square. And actually that ds cos theta upon r square, this ratio is nothing but indirectly yes solid angle. It is called as a solid angle and it is denoted with symbol d omega because this area under consideration is a small area. Actually this area subtends certain angle here in 3-dimensional and it is denoted with letter d omega and is called as a solid angle. Plane angle is different. Plane angle is angle between two lines. Means in a plane if we consider two lines, suppose OA and OB, these are the two lines, then angle between them it is called as a plane angle. It is expressed in SI unit radian. But if we consider here area, in this 3-dimensional, whatever angle is subtended with this vertex of cone, it is called as a solid angle whose SI unit is steradian, SRAD. Steradian is SI unit. Both are dimensionless. दोघांनाही dimension नाहीयेत लक्षात घ्या. Plane angle as well as solid angle both are dimensionless, but unit is there. For plane angle radian and for solid angle it is steradian. Now for this area, yes, the solid angle is defined as d omega is defined as component of area in the direction of intensity. Means if we resolve this area in the direction of intensity, it will be ds cos theta. So component of area in the direction of intensity divided by square of its distance from the that point charge. Square of distance of that area from the point charge. So ds cos theta upon r square, this is d omega, equation number 4. So if we use equation 4 in equation 3, we can write d phi is equal to q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 k into d omega, equation number 5. Very, very important. Now next one step is left here. This is electric flux of this small area only, not entire area. Statement Gauss theorem states that total flux over any closed surface. We are interested to find flux over entire area. So what to do? You just imagine now, you just imagine this total area, it is divided in small elements. This is second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element, dash, and so on up to infinity. If entire surface is divided in such small element, total flux we can say that flux of first element plus flux of second element plus of third element. So if we add all these small flux, it gives rise to total flux, and hence we will get here total electric flux over that surface phi is equal to d phi 1 plus dash d phi n. Or simply we can say that this is equal to summation d phi suffix I is equal to 1 to n. This is summation method. Or also we can use here integration sign d phi over entire surface. That entire surface is nothing but S. So if we replace now here value of d phi, what is d phi? Q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 k d omega. If we replace this value in this equation, then we can write total flux phi is equal to, tell me, q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 k will be outside integration sign. Integration, what will be d omega over entire surface. Now you should know meaning of this integration d omega over entire surface. What is d omega? Solid angle subtended by this area. So first area ds1 subtend angle d omega 1. Second area d omega 2. If we add solid angles of all these small element, d omega 1 plus d omega 2, so we will get a total solid angle. And that total solid angle is denoted with symbol omega. So total flux will be Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 K S multiplied by here omega. Very important equation number, whatever it may be, place number suppose 5. So this is about total flux over that entire surface. Now we are interested to get this verification, phi is equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 sigma q. So how to get it? Yes. Now always remember, this total solid angle for any closed surface of any shape, it may be spherical surface, may be cylindrical, may be non-standard irregular shape. For any closed surface, remember one conclusion, total solid angle is always 4 pi steradian. It's a fixed value. For all closed surface of any shape, it is observed that total solid angle is always 4 pi steradian. So if we accept this value and if we replace over here, then total flux comes out equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 K. Yes, omega is 4 pi. So here 4 pi get cancelled. So what will be conclusion? Yes, tell me. Total flux phi comes out equal to, yes, Q divided by epsilon 0 K. Now if we assume air medium, for air medium we know that K is equal to 1. Hence total flux comes out equal to Q divided by epsilon 0. Very important conclusion, equation number 6. Now only part left, there is no sigma q. Because we consider only one charge inside this surface and hence we got this verification, total flux over that surface is equal to Q upon epsilon 0. Suppose now there is now another charge, suppose Q2. Suppose this is Q1, then we will get here Q1. If this is Q2, we will get verification Q2. Means flux of first charge will be equal to Q1 divided by epsilon 0. Total flux due to second charge, we will get Q2 divided by epsilon 0. Flux due to or entire surface due to third charge, it will be, if it is minus Q3 inside the surface, minus Q3 divided by epsilon 0. So in general we can say that total flux due to all the charges inside it, if we try to get total flux due to all the charges, then it will be flux over entire surface of first area plus second plus last, that is phi suffix n. So due to first it is Q1 divided by epsilon 0, due to second Q2 divided by epsilon 0, third minus Q3 divided by epsilon 0 plus dash Qn divided by epsilon 0. If we take LCM over here, so total flux is equal to epsilon 0 will be LCM at numerator Q1 plus Q2 minus Q3 plus dash Qn. So numerator we can write as, yes, that is summation Q, means algebraic sum of all the charges divided by epsilon 0. Hence proved. This is final verification, equation number 7. Hence Gauss law is verified. Total electric flux or any closed surface is always equal to, yes, algebraic sum of all the charges enclosed by that surface divided by permittivity of medium. So if air medium is there, epsilon 0. Other than air medium, you can use epsilon 0 K. So K will be provided. So this is very important part. Now one more attached article we have to discuss. If charge is outside the surface, means instead of considering charge inside, suppose this is the closed surface under consideration, and if charge is given outside the closed surface, suppose here, then what will be electric flux over the surface? So if we construct here cone due to outside charge, then this cone will intersect this closed surface at two cross section. Say this is ds1 and this is ds2. Two cross sections are there. So at first cross section, this area subtends certain angle, that is a solid angle d omega. This surface also subtends same solid angle. Means both the surfaces subtend the same solid angle. Only difference is that for first cross section, see here, tubes of electric lines of force are going inside. Here electric lines of force are coming outside. Now we during verification of this Gauss theorem, we got one formula. Electric flux or any small area d phi, yes, it is given by formula Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 K into d omega. Now using this formula, yes, or this first cross section d phi 1 or d phi we will get here, yes, Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into d omega. Similarly, or second cross section, what will be electric flux d phi 2? It is also Q, because charge is same, 4 pi epsilon 0 K into d omega, because second surface also subtend the same solid angle. This is the advantageous point. If point is outside, yes, both cross section subtend the same solid angle here. Okay, and that's why their magnitudes will be same. But difference is that nature. No doubt electric flux is a scalar quantity, but still we are using yes plus and minus sign. When lines are going inside the surface, it is considered as a negative, and when lines are coming outside, it is taken as positive. So second flux will be positive, first will be negative. Now due to these two cross section, if we calculate total flux d phi 1 plus d phi 2, what will be its value? 100% 0. So this is only due to two small cross section. So if we cover entire surface by means of yes such kind of yes even elements, means if we construct due to outside charge, see here, due to the same charge, if we construct cone here again, yes, this cone will intersect this surface at two cross section. Again for these two cross section same solid angle, means we will get same magnitudes. Again that total net flux comes out equal to 0. It means that if charge is outside the closed surface, always remember total electric flux over that surface always comes out equal to 0. So in many time competitive examination there may be question, yes, if charge is given outside the surface, then always electric flux is 0. For example, if such a closed surface is given and suppose 3 charges are given or 5 charges, yes, this is 1 microcoulomb, this is 2 microcoulomb, this is 5 microcoulomb, this is 12 microcoulomb, and this is 18 microcoulomb. And if question is there, what will be total flux over this closed surface? Yes, how to get total flux? Formula is sigma q divided by epsilon 0. So this is equal to, what is sigma q? Algebraic sum of all the charges enclosed by surface. Now this surface enclosed these 3 charges only. Outside charges, yes, outside charges flux is always 0. Means not to consider these 2 charges, only algebraic sum of these 3. So if we consider one charge as negative first, 5 plus 2 7, 7 minus 1 6. So 6 into 10 raised to minus 6 coulomb divided by epsilon 0 permittivity of air medium. Whatever may be the value, we know that that value is yes 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. In this way, we can solve problem by using this Gauss theorem. So very important, Gauss theorem. Yes, total electric flux or any closed surface is always equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 times algebraic sum of all the charges enclosed by that surface. And another important point which we discussed, yes, total electric flux due to outside charge always comes out equals to 0. So application part now we will start from next lecture, applications of Gauss theorem. Okay, thank you.